you would think, ABC, having just paid $15 million for a defamation lawsuit, would think not to engage in conspiracy theories about assassination attempts, but I guess that's too much to ask from The View. I mean, I got to ask you, because they said it, are you aware of any plots from Elon Musk to push President Trump down the stairs?
Absolutely not. Let me be unequivocally clear about that.
What happens when Karoline Leavitt rolls out of bed, flips the drama switch, and sues The View like it's just another 9 to 5? Apparently, financial ruin for the daytime divas. Anyway, that's right. Karoline's back in court with a lawsuit so massive it could qualify for its own zip code. Could this be the sparkle-studded nail in The View's designer coffin? Is Joy Behar about to launch a side hustle-knitting passive-aggressive pillows on Etsy just to pay the damages? Don't blink. This takedown is messier than a Real Housewives wine fight. Leavitt, a fierce political operator at just 27, and yes, quite glamorous, wasn't exactly welcome with open arms. The self-proclaimed champions of progressive thought on The View responded to her White House appointment not with discussion, but with a dig. She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. Subtle. And now, Leavitt has done the unthinkable again. Stormed into the rhinestone chaos of daytime TV, locked eyes with the loudest pack of professional interrupters on air, and sued the sequins clean off their studio. Again, because apparently one courtroom clash wasn't enough to convince The View's producers to retire their brand of controversy-esque content. Karoline brought the receipts. And this time, it's personal.
And watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years. They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him. They have shamed him. They have lied about him consistently on their show.
Turns out Karoline Leavitt isn't just breaking out in hives over liberal media antics. She's practically built a career hauling into court with the kind of grit most people reserve for pulling their dog out of a mud puddle. And with this latest legal grenade, she might have done it. The View isn't just rattled. It's teetering like a tipsy table at a reality show reunion.
And the abuse continued.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason.
So what sparked this latest legal roundhouse from Karoline? Apparently, she hit her courtroom quota after once again being served as the daily special on The View, as endless buffet of outrage. No need for air quotes. We know the routine. 5 hosts, 2 coffee mugs, and a bottomless pit of polished condescension. But Karoline didn't just rage scroll like the rest of us. She filed the paperwork. And this time, it's not a slap on the wrist. It's a lawsuit so big, it might show up on NASA's next satellite scan.
I mean, you'll deal with these kind of crazy questions from the White House podium. How do you plan to deal with it?
Yes, I absolutely will. I feel prepared to do that. I've been facing the media now, speaking on behalf of President Trump on the campaign trail for the past couple of years, and we are expecting the media to be hostile. However, Kaylee, if you do talk to a lot of these reporters off the record, they will tell you they look forward to more press transparency and access. And while we will expose the fake news when they are fake, we will hold them accountable for their lies and smears of President Trump. I can also assure the American people that they are going to be hearing directly from the leader of the free world.
Now here's where it gets delicious. This isn't just about bruised feelings. It's about alleged defamation, character demolition, and what Karoline's legal team is calling a full-blown smear campaign disguised as coffee table chatter. Think of it as lighting a match in a candle shop and then blaming the explosion on aromatherapy. According to insiders, Leavitt's lawsuit rests on a painfully simple premise. If a nationally televised show keeps treating her like a political piñata, don't be surprised when piñata swings back. While the host may think they're just dishing out snarky banter, Her legal team sees it more like a hit piece in high definition, sprinkled with content tutorials and sponsor plugs. But here's the genius. She's not shouting into the void. She's lawyering up with the precision of someone who's got every frame time-stamped and every insult cross-referenced in a binder. And she's not just targeting the hosts. She's coming for the whole machine. If The View were a house, Karoline's lawsuit would name the carpet, the chandelier, and the poor intern who orders the lukewarm croissants. Financially, this isn't a drill. Word is ABC's accounting department is breaking into cold sweats, haunted by deja vu from the last courtroom clash. Legal costs are reportedly sky-high, insurance rates punch into orbit, and behind the scenes, producers are whispering the word settlement like it's a cursed spell.
Many of you in the media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing here. You tried to say that the rest of the world would be moved closer to China when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America, not China, because they need our markets, they need our consumers, and they need this president in the Oval Office to talk to them. And that's exactly why more than 75 countries have called, because the United States of America is the best place in the world to do business. And as the president has shown great courage, as the secretary has said, in choosing to retaliate against China
even higher backstage, it's a completely different show. Staffers are reportedly tiptoeing to the studio like they're dodging subpoenas instead of camera cords. Morale? Picture a glitter bomb detonated during a tax audit. Joy might still be cracking jokes on air, but behind the scenes, budget cuts are hitting harder than her punchlines. Promo shoots are vanishing without a trace. Guest appearances are quietly evaporating. And even the snack table, rumor has it, has gone from lavish spreads to bring your own granola bar. Meanwhile, Karoline Leavitt is thriving. She's turned this legal roller coaster into a political stage play so precise and compelling, it makes Shakespeare look like improv night at a dive bar. In conservative circles, she's become the icon who brought the cackling colossus to its knees with nothing but court filings and a steely calm. No shouting, just devastatingly composed legal arguments. But don't mistake this for a PR stunt. It's a financial siege. Her team isn't just demanding damages. They're compiling a case that allegedly shows a long, calculated campaign of on-air character sabotage, all dressed up as daytime fun. If it sticks, the payout wouldn't just sting. It could hollow out the show's entire financial foundation. And while the network puts on a brave face, insiders say it's all smoke and mirrors. Legal teams are on high alert. PR is reportedly on DEFCON meltdown, and advertisers? Well, let's just say a few are already eyeing the exits, nervously clutching their marketing budgets like a lifeboat.
First of all, the Democrat Party has gone woke, and now they have gone broke. They have their lowest approval ratings ever, and they are rallying around two of the most far-left leaders in their party, AOC and Jasmine Crockett. So that tells you the current state of the Democrat Party.
Apparently, some brands weren't thrilled to discover they'd been sponsoring what might soon be Exhibit A in a headline-grabbing courtroom brawl. And here's where it gets juicy. While The View scrambles to plug the leaks, Karoline's social media is blowing up. Every fresh court document is a content goldmine. More clicks, more likes, more donations. She's evolved from a news subject into a full-on headline machine, fueled by legal drama and iced coffee. Conservative pundits are already dubbing her the future of media warfare, not by yelling into cameras, but by dragging them into court. While others ran on podcasts, Karoline's dropping court filings like diss tracks. It's not just conservatism, it's courtroom conservatism. Fewer hot takes, more cease and desist letters. And ratings? Let's just say they're not breaking any records. With the lawsuit looming and the backstage mood one shade short panic, viewers are reportedly switching off the show. It now feels less like a cultural staple and more like a PR liability. Sponsorships that once flowed freely are drying up fast because, let's face it, no brand wants its logo next to a potential defamation claim. Not exactly the promo pitch that moves mascara and yoga mats. One insider even joked that the next sponsor might be a law firm. Meanwhile, Karoline's not easing off the gas. Word is her team is combing through old footage, building what could become a growing series of lawsuits. If The View thought this was a one and done, they might want to start binging their own reruns with a lawyer.
You do know that you're walking into hostile territory, right?
Certainly do. And look, I think I'm well prepared for that. And I'm incredibly honored that President Trump has instilled confidence in me to speak on his behalf behind the White House podium. It's been an honor to have a front row seat to the greatest political comeback in history. And as you mentioned in your monologue, Sean, President Trump is putting together a brilliant cabinet of fantastic America First fighters, from Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, who are going to cut the waste out of our federal bureaucracy, to Susie Wiles, who is going to serve as the first female chief of staff in history. Take that, Mark Cuban, to Tom Homan. No one better to secure the border than him.
The mission? A full-blown reckoning with what Karoline Leavitt calls the mean girls and makeup empire of daytime television. And if she wins, the word cancel might need a serious upgrade. Even a partial court victory could gut the View. Fewer hosts, fewer sponsors, and far fewer snarky soundbites without someone's legal team on speed dial. Here's the twist. Leavitt has mastered the double identity. Villain in one world, icon in another. To the View's loyalists, she's a political bogey woman. But to her base, she's a folk hero, armed with legal briefs and a don't-flinch glare. This isn't just controversy. It's branding. She's not dodging the drama. She's packaging it, selling it, and cashing in. And if you think this is ego, think again. Karoline's playing chess. Every lawsuit is a campaign ad. Every courtroom win is a poll boost. She's not just crafting a public image. She's building a political resume that reads more media assassin in heels than cable pundit. While The View clings to PR spin and hopes for blue skies, Karoline's already scanning the radar for the next legal thunderstorm. Because for her, this was never about one bad segment. It's about dismantling what she sees as a decades-old institution that's used gossip, glitz, and groupthink as a weapon. And this time, the target's pushing back.
I think it's insulting that you are trying to test my knowledge of economics and the decisions that this president has made. I'm now regret giving a question to the Associated Press. You're asking me for what the president's justification is for these tariffs. It's not up to you. You're not the president, Gabe.
To hire a spokesperson just so that Elon Musk doesn't put out tweets that then confuse federal workers.
Are my press briefings not good enough for you,
Karoline Leavitt didn't just file a lawsuit. She launched a full-blown political brand. Courtrooms have become her TikTok stage, and depositions are content drops, complete with overhead lighting and legal flair. Each court date plays out like a new episode in the Karoline cinematic universe, starring rage-tinted headlines, conspiracy-laced hot takes, and Instagram story trilogies featuring coffee, contempt, and constitutional fireworks. And it's working. Her social media numbers are soaring like a 90s bodybuilding poster, followers rising faster than rent, engagement through the roof, and her donation link pulling in more clicks than The View's clap track. Forget traditional ads. Karoline is the ad. She's a viral sensation, playing both crusader and casualty, litigating her way into the hearts of every Fox News intern with Wi-Fi and ambition. Conservative media is feasting. Karoline's already been canonized, nestled between Reagan and a bald eagle dress for the Met Gala. She's no longer just a pundit. She's an Instagram-perfect icon of indignation, leading the charge against liberal media theatrics with court filings and a highlight filter. And the scariest part for her critics? She's not even raising her voice. The lawsuits are doing all the shouting.
If you heard that type of violent, enticing rhetoric from our side of the aisle, from Republican leaders on Capitol Hill, I think there would be a lot more outrage in this room today. It's unacceptable, the comments that have been made by these Democrat leaders, and frankly, they don't even know what they're talking about. Because President Trump was elected with a mandate from the American people to make this government more efficient. He campaigned across this country with Elon Musk, vowing that Elon was going to head up the Department of Government Efficiency, and the two of them, with a great team around them, were going to look at the...
This is where the tables turn, but not in the fun, reality show reunion kind of way. Typically, The View has made a name for itself by roasting individuals, turning them into viral memes and flaming them like marshmallows at a Girl Scout retreat. But now, the show is trending, not for its usual sassy quips or fiery sound bites, but for spiraling liability and a legal firestorm they can't meme their way out of. Karoline Leavitt didn't just change the game. She rewrote the rules entirely. She's not mad at the media. She's monetizing the outrage, packaging it, tagging it, and shipping it out like primetime content. What once was a reaction is now a business model, and the media itself has become the product. Meanwhile, back at The View, the glitter is fading and the vibe is pure crisis mode. The financial forecast? Grim. And you don't need to be a CPA to realize that high-profile lawsuits and PR disasters aren't exactly wallet-friendly. Add in plummeting ratings, tepid applause, and sponsors sweating bullets like they're on a lie detector test, and you've got a perfect recipe for a slow-motion collapse. Even The View's diehard fans are noticing the shift. What used to feel sharp and fiery now sounds rehearsed and padded. The banter is brittle, the laughs thinner than Joy Behar's patience, and the forced cheer. Let's just say it's tough to sparkle when you're hemorrhaging legal fees. Rumors of host shakeups and production pauses are growing louder, and ABC execs are already doing the math. How much longer can they prop this up before quietly pulling the plug and calling a rebrand? And Karoline? She's not easing up. Word is, her legal team has so many binders they could open a satellite office at Staples. They're combing through every frame, hunting for fresh firepower. If The View so much as side-eyes the wrong headline, Karoline is ready to file faster than you can say reckless defamation. Insiders say this is just phase one. Karoline's going after the entire liberal media matrix like it's legal whack-a-mole, and she's holding the mallet. This isn't just about one talk show anymore. It's a strategic blueprint for weaponizing outrage into influence. Karoline has turned court filings into currency, visibility, and cultural leverage. If The View was the first to feel the heat, it sure won't be the last. The slow-motion implosion isn't coming from viewers or ratings. It's coming from a Gen Z conservative who decided that if you can't outshout the media, you sue it until it whispers. To some, it may seem excessive, but to her followers, it's revolutionary. Leavitt's crusade isn't a PR stunt. It's a manual for a new kind of warfare, one that trades debates for depositions and replaces clapbacks with court dates. And now, The View is learning that lesson the hard way. Karoline isn't backing down, but at the rate things are going, the show is heading toward syndication limbo. Or worse, a permanent spot in the daytime graveyard next to Montel Williams and late-night infomercials. The irony? The loudest show on television is being silenced, not by outrage or audience apathy, but by a stack of subpoenas and a young woman who decided that the punchline stops here. Call it karma, call it reckoning, but call it Karoline, with a capital L for lawsuit. With that, the only question left for The View might be, does anyone know a good bankruptcy lawyer? Preferably one with a punchline? Because Karoline Leavitt just turned the table, and this time, the joke's on them.